Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching this video. So in this video, we will discuss about the World Wide Web. You can share, subscribe, and like. First, we go to what is the web? World Wide Web or web is often referred to the internet, but actually there are two different things. Okay, the concept of web was created when the internet already established. Okay, so internet comes first and then followed by the web. The web was introduced by one of the researcher named Sir Tim Berners-Lee. So this person was working at the one of the organization for nuclear research in Geneva, Switzerland. So basically the web is based on the internet infrastructure and it provides a hypertext hypermedia interface to information resources on the internet. Technically, the web is a set of technologies that allow information on the internet to be linked together. Basically, we have another terminology that we have: web page, website, web application. So the language used in order to create a web we call as the HTML, hypertext markup language. And basically, when we talk about the web, there are three components, and those components will be combined together to describe the World Wide Web. And the components are HTTP, refer to the protocol that being used. HTML, refer to the language that being used in order to create the web. And the Uniform Resource Locator, URL, that refer to the address. So those the components, the key component in web are used by the Sir Tim Berners-Lee in order to develop the web. So the purpose of developing this part is in order to allow the sharing resources among different system, different platform, and this from different framework. That's why Sir Tim Berners-Lee come up with this idea. So you should know that the web is a service, an application of the internet. It used based on the internet infrastructure. Based on the internet infrastructure, we develop a web, and then it use the those component. We have the HTTP as the protocol for the communication, and then we have the HTML for the language in order to create the web, to display the text, the graphic, the information on that web page, and then we have the URL in order to locate the document. So there are several terminology when we talk about the World Wide Web. So one of the web terminology, we have the web page. So web page is refer to the document that can be displayed using browser. So we need a browser in order to display a web page. It can be static and it also can be dynamic. Static means what you write, you will see the information, but the information will not change when you go through the web page. And another part is dynamic. So dynamic web page means you can perform certain tasks on that web page that it will display difference, or it's not a static information. Yeah, so at this point we have two figure. One figure for the static, how we display the information using the static web page, and the second part is architecture, a figure that explain how the process of publishing a dynamic web page. So at the static part, we have the client using the web browser. So client make a request through the internet. Internet will communicate with the web server using the HTTP protocol. Web server will look up the URL through the database server, static web page, and it will this database server will give a result to the web server, and then using the HTML web page, it will display through the internet using the web browser. So basically, when we talk about the static web page, it will be HTML language or script in order to code. So it's only HTML. It's referred to the HTML code. Okay. Another figure show about how the process of publishing a dynamic web page. So in this figure, we have the client, the user using the web browser in order to serve the information. So it make a request to web page. So it will go through the internet and then request the web page from the web server using the HTTP protocol. And then web server will communicate with the application server. Application server will communicate with the database. So, and then application server will provide the result to the web server, and web server go to the client. So this is the example, or the difference between the static and the dynamic. Okay, the difference is using the dynamic, we have the application server that communicate from web server to the database. So when we want to create a web page, a dynamic web page, so there are several language that we can use. One of them is PHP. We also can create the dynamic using the JSP and ASP. So these are the difference between the static and the dynamic web page. A web page versus website. So website is a collection of web pages. So we have multiple web pages, then we can create a website. Means web page is subdomain or subset of the website. So we can distinguish the website and web page based on the size. So website have a bigger size compared to the web page. In terms of the content, website have varied content, web page specific content. Okay, let's say we have a website of a college. So we have home, we have contact us, we have description. So home is a web page. So the information is specific on the overview of that website. And through the website, we may have the accessing the email. So it's go for the application. So multiple web pages will create a website. So, but the keyword here, you must make sure that when you describe the website, is about the collection of the web pages under one domain. www.budakbaik.com. So a website is under web a domain, one domain. So that domain have multiple web pages. From the web pages, you will create a website. So basically, the process of creating the web page and the web site is quite similar. Okay, the next terminology that we have is website and web application. Website is for displaying information. Web application allows the user to perform actions. So using the web application, you are allowed to do the operation or task-centric part. You can do editing, you can update the information, you can delete the information, you can create, you can find, you can query. So it is a task-centric. So the keyword is task-centric for the web applications, and website only for displaying the information. Okay, web application self-contained. It requires rich interactive user interface. Number 3, it uses advanced technology. It can integrate the capability of the API that we have. API from different application. It also can integrate with the camera in order to capture your face. It also can integrate with the web scraping technology or technique in order to get the information. And web application is the action oriented. So when we talk about the web applications, you can interact with the web application. For example, we have a Facebook. Facebook is a website. So in a Facebook, you can browse to your profile. You can browse to the pictures. Okay. The process of browsing for Facebook profile, pictures go for the about, home, that is go to the web page. The website, the Facebook is the website, and then when we talk about the profile part, that is the web page. And web application in the Facebook that allow you to upload the document, allow you to delete your photo, update your status. So the process of action oriented, that part we call as the web application. Okay, the next one is web application versus web service. Another new term is web service. So web services provide a standard that allow the communication between different software application that running on a variety of platform and framework. So that we call as the web service. Okay, let's say we use the same example. We have Facebook. In a Facebook, we have web page. And in Facebook, we have the web application, and Facebook is the website. One of the applications that we can use and interact is the messenger. We can chat. So chat is one of the service that provide to you. So chatting, there is a web service. So web service is basically, the basic part is XML plus the HTML. Okay, web application is intended for the user. Web service intended for the other application. So there are the difference between the web application and then web services. If you deal with the web application that provide email services, so that part we call as the web service. What are the service that being supplied using the web application? Another example, in order for you to differentiate, let's say we have a website for the university. Okay. So website for university, we have a lot of information. We have addresses, we have fee, URN, we have the program, how many program that we have in that university. So that's what we call as a website with the web pages, different pages that link together by the hypertext link. So web application let the user that access that university website to access email. So let's say we have for UiTM, okay, we have a website of UiTM, and then be using that website, instead of only that website, we also have the web application. For example, your student portal, that is the web application. UFeature also web application that allow you to interact and task oriented. So it let you to access your email account, let the teachers, let the lecturers manage the course material, let you as a student to register the courses. So that is the web application. And then in that, okay, for example, UFeature, the lecturers allow to manage the course material, we call as the web application. And then be using the same UFeature website web application, it also provides services, for example, forum discussion. So that is the service. The discussion, forum discussion inside the UFeature is an example of the web service, where the interface can be provided between a web page for collecting the data and the back end of the system. So that are the example. Hopefully you already understand on how to differentiate what is the web, what is the web page, what is the website, web application, and web services. So next video we will discuss about the web architecture. So thank you and Assalamualaikum.